A solitary human stands at a rainy bus stop, suddenly clutching his right thigh with urgent intensity. He reaches into his heavy coat pocket, pulls out a dark glass rectangle, and stares at its silent, dark face with a look of mild betrayal. There is no notification. There is no missed call. The screen remains a stubborn, glossy black pool. Yet, just a moment ago, the human would have sworn under oath that a small, electric tremor pulsed against his leg. This is not an isolated malfunction of the nervous system. It is a daily occurrence for up to 90% of modern phone-carrying humans. Across the globe, in offices, cafes, and quiet living rooms, humans are constantly checking their thighs, their hips, and their chests in response to silent summons that do not exist. In the field of sensory science, this phenomenon is known as phantom vibration syndrome. To understand why the human body plays this strange trick on itself, we must look at how this species has integrated technology into its very biology. For millions of years, the human body evolved to detect natural stimuli, the rustle of a predator in the brush, the warmth of a fire, the touch of a mate. Its sensory organs are finely tuned instruments. But in the span of just a few decades, a new object has entered the habitat. It is a flat, heavy slab of silicon and glass that rests against the human body for up to 16 hours a day. The phone is not merely a tool. To the human brain, it is a high-yield neural reward center. It is a direct line to the tribe. It carries the promise of validation, the thrill of novelty, and the reassurance of belonging. Every time a phone vibrates, the human receives a small burst of dopamine. Over time, this creates a powerful conditioning loop. The human learns to anticipate the vibration. The brain begins to crave it. This expectation transforms the skin of the thigh into a highly charged ecological zone. The human thigh is packed with specialized nerve endings called Pacinian corpuscles. These microscopic receptors are designed to detect rapid, high-frequency vibrations. They are the body's natural seismographs, sensing the subtle rumbles of the physical world. Under normal circumstances, they send signals to the brain when clothes rustle, when the wind blows, or when the body shifts weight. But the modern human brain is no longer neutral. It is highly motivated. This is where a fundamental psychological framework known as signal detection theory comes into play. The brain is constantly forced to make decisions under conditions of uncertainty. It must analyze the constant stream of sensory background noise and decide if a meaningful signal is present. Imagine a radar operator scanning a screen in a storm. The operator has to set a threshold for what constitutes a threat. If they set the threshold too high, they might miss an actual incoming missile, a catastrophic error. If they set it too low, they will repeatedly sound the alarm for harmless flocks of birds. For the modern human, missing a call or a text message is treated by the subconscious as a minor survival emergency. It could mean missing a professional opportunity, a social invitation, or a message from a romantic partner. To avoid this catastrophic miss, the brain adjusts its internal dial. It lowers its threshold for detection. It decides that 1,000 false alarms are infinitely preferable to a single missed connection. As a result of this lowered threshold, the brain becomes hypervigilant. It begins to actively scan the inputs coming from the Pacinian corpuscles in the thigh. When the human walks, their trousers rub against their skin. When they sit down, the fabric stretches. When a heavy vehicle rumbles down the street, a faint vibration ripples through the floorboards. In an unprimed brain, these sensations are quietly filtered out as useless background noise. But in the hypervigilant brain of a phone owner, these harmless physical movements are instantly misclassified. The brain matches the pattern of the rustling fabric to the expected frequency of the phone's vibration motor. It sounds the alarm. The human feels a phantom buzz. There is a fascinating, counterintuitive pattern to who experiences this most frequently. Researchers have found that individuals who exhibit higher levels of emotional sensitivity or attachment anxiety are far more prone to phantom vibrations. Those who worry about their relationships, or who feel a constant need for social reassurance, have brains that are even more desperate for signals. Their internal radar is tuned to such an extreme sensitivity that almost any physical sensation near the pocket is interpreted as a digital touch. Their bodies are quite literally translating their social anxieties into physical sensations. This integration goes even deeper than simple anticipation. It touches upon how the human brain maps the physical self. The brain possesses a dynamic internal map of the body, known to scientists as the body schema. This map is not rigid. It is highly elastic. When a human uses a tool regularly, the brain dynamically expands the body schema to include that tool. When a carpenter uses a hammer, or a blind person uses a walking cane, the brain begins to process the tip of the tool as if it were a literal extension of the fingers. The tool is absorbed into the self. The same process occurs with the mobile phone. Because the phone is carried in the same pocket day after day, year after year, the brain begins to treat the device not as an external object, but as an additional, external organ. The pocket becomes a sensory boundary of the body itself. When the brain expects this new organ to speak, it simply invents the sound. This phantom sensation is a striking example of how rapidly our biology can adapt to our creations. Evolution is a slow, grinding process that takes hundreds of thousands of years. Technology, however, moves at a blinding speed. The human brain has had to adapt to the digital age on the fly, repurposing its ancient, survival-focused sensory hardware to navigate a world of instant messaging and constant connectivity. Some might view this as a tragic symptom of our modern condition. They might see the human clutching at his thigh as a puppet, helplessly twitching at the whim of a digital master. They might worry that we are becoming pathologically dependent on our machines, losing our connection to the physical world in favor of a silent, phantom digital hum. But there is another, gentler way to view this behavior. The phantom vibration is not a sign of madness, nor is it a simple biological error. It is a testament to our profound, unyielding need for one another. Humans are, above all else, cooperative social animals. We survived the harsh trials of our evolutionary history not through physical strength or speed, but through our ability to stick together, to communicate, and to care for our tribe. The phantom vibration is simply our ancient, social heart beating in a modern chest. It is our biological system doing everything in its power to ensure we do not miss a call from our loved ones, a joke from a friend, or a cry for help. It is a physical manifestation of our desire to remain connected, resting quietly in our pockets, whispering to us in the silent spaces of our day. So, the next time you feel that familiar, ghostly flutter against your leg, only to find an empty screen, do not be annoyed. Take a quiet breath. Smile at the realization that your brain is simply looking out for you, keeping its radar swept, waiting for a signal from the tribe. It is just the old animal inside you, keeping its ears open in the dark.